Hey guys, I was recently at IKEA, which we don't have in my city, but I came across these marker pens. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna get these. They're pretty cheap. I want to test them out to see if they are a marker worth having in your collection. And the funny thing is, I actually have quite a few different packs of art supplies that I've been collecting over the years, so I want to kind of make this a series. So in this video, I asked a few of my friends which animal to sketch, and I'm gonna take Lindsay's suggestion and sketch some manatees. So let's open this package up first. I suppose you could keep them in this tray for storage, maybe like put this in your art supply drawer or whatnot, but I store my supplies by color regardless of the medium that it is. So I'm going to take them all out at some point. I'll maybe keep them in here for the video, but I will be storing them out of that little tray. But anyway, I digress. Let's get started sketching. So I have 2 blank sheets here just to protect the rest of my sketchbook in case these markers bleed. So that's always important to do when you're testing out new supplies, because you never know if a certain supply will bleed through the paper or not. So I think I'm going to, I guess, swatch these first. Maybe I'll do them, should I do aesthetic swatches on the side or on the top or on the bottom? Let's go on the bottom, and I will swatch them in the order they have them. So they feel very light and actually kind of a nice soft plastic material. So they feel kind of nice in the hand. And they go quite thick and thin, which is also quite nice. I mean, there's only a few real like natural colors, nothing that's really good for a manatee, so my sketches aren't going to be accurate colors, but I think it's fun to see a sketchbook spread when it's just loaded up with different colored either pens or different color pencils for your sketchbook spread. I think that just looks so cool, and I've started doing that in this sketchbook. You will see that whenever I'm done, and I'll do a sketchbook tour, but yeah, I'm really liking that, I guess, aesthetic. Alright, first impressions, I actually quite like this range of colors. There's a lot of brights, but there's a few like more muted tones in there too. So I'd say this is a pretty decent color range. I do want to do a little bit more swatching in terms of like how do they mix and layer. They don't, I will say they don't match the barrels like at all, because this is a very bright yellow and this is more of like a mustard yellow. So let's see, what would a yellow and a blue should turn green. Okay, I mean that is green. Let's try another one. Let's try blue to red. I always find it's trickier to get purple from blue and red. I don't know why, but that's something I've noticed. And then let's try red to yellow. Yeah, that's not really orange either. I don't know. So as far as layering, not so much. They're not going to act like an alcohol marker, so don't expect that. They are water-based. So, oh yeah, I wanted to see if they bled. A little bit of bleed through the next page, but nothing beyond. So that's decent. And I put a few strokes on there. So I guess I think the next step is start sketching. At first I'm going to do with no pencil and see if I can make it work. And then if I feel like I'm struggling too much, then I'll incorporate a pencil sketch and then use marker on top. So we'll see a few different techniques here. So I guess maybe my favorite color, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, my favorite color is white, but there's no white. I thought this was kind of interesting. On the barrel, this is like a dark brown, but it very much showed up as like a purple. It's actually somewhat similar to this purple. So that is kind of curious. But I think I'm going to try this one. This one to start anyway. So I just have some reference images just pulled up from Google off to the side that I'm going to use for reference. So let's start. Now, one of the things, I don't mind a good sketchy looking sketch, right? I don't feel like it has to be super polished, and I like all of these sketch lines. I don't know how you guys feel. I did not give this guy enough room, so that's too bad. But yeah, I quite like the way a good sketchy vibe looks when it comes to like real sketching. Now, of course, if you're looking to make like a finished piece of art, you're gonna wanna, you know, clean up your sketch lines, potentially erase your sketch lines after you've inked it or colored it. But for me right now, in terms of this project, I am just happy doing this. And then again, like I said, if I feel like I want something a little different, I can go ahead and use the pencil a little later and then use the marker on top. Now these guys have some interesting eyes, I would say. This image is from straight on, so it's kind of hard to see exactly what the eyes are doing. So you just kind of have to make your best guess. And also keep in mind, sketching for a camera, a top-down camera, is a little bit skewed because my view is coming this direction because this is where my eyes are looking. So from you guys might see this a little bit more elongated as opposed to how I'm seeing it. And that's just kind of the nature of like filming yourself sketching. You can either like adjust yourself to sketch a little bit more upright, have your surface elevated, or you can just teach yourself to draw so that it's friendly for the camera. But I don't draw for the camera too often, so I have not learned that skill. Essentially, that's how he looks. And I'm kind of happy with it. Just, you know, a quick little sketch. Didn't really make use of this fat edge too often, but I definitely could try. The underside of his snout is in shadow. I'm excited because doing this series I feel like will also teach me to be a little bit looser because I'm not letting myself take a super long time just to do a sketch. I think it's also important, like what's called gesture drawing. I have not. I've tried, I think maybe once or twice to do gesture drawing and live people drawing. I find that incredibly difficult. But yeah, so I'm hoping like this will dip my toes a little bit into that experience a little bit so that maybe I can try gesture drawing and real life drawing. Not so much like, I don't mean stills, like not drawing from still life, but from like going to a coffee shop and drawing people getting their coffee order, right? They're only at the till for so long, so you have to like make it quick and get it all in before they leave. So that's kind of what gesture drawing I'm referring to. So that would be kind of cool to get a little bit better at that. So there's my first manatee. I feel like his snout is considerably a lot smaller than it should be. The snout should be quite large. Otherwise, I'm decently happy with this, especially for my first time. I have not drawn traditionally today at all, so I was messing around on the iPad earlier, but this is getting into traditional drawing. And this is also a good practice for the warm-up phase. Like if you are getting into, wait, before I keep talking, let's find another image. Yeah, let's try this one. This one, let's see, this is like peach, but this is like full orange. But regardless, what I was saying is learning to sketch quickly like this is also good for like warming up. When you want to do a finished illustration or piece of art, it's always nice to do a little warm up first, just to get your fingers like remembering the motions and stuff. So doing quick like little things like this are handy for those purposes also. So this is going to be a full body boy. Something funny, pretty cute actually, that I thought of because of my friend picking this manatee. She also mentioned the VeggieTales Barbara manatee. Let me know in the comments how many of you, when I said manatee, did you think of that song? Because I bet you there's more in the chat or whatever, in the commenters below, that actually did think of Barbara Manatee. That's also something that I think of when I hear of manatees, is often Barbara Manatee. But yeah, I'm really curious how many of you also thought of her. And how many of you are now singing the song in your head. That's funny. So, we're getting her snout in here. It was a him before, now it's a her. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Honestly, this manatee looks like his or her eyes are closed, but I'm guessing they're not. I think I made her body a little bit too small, so we'll have to extend that a little. There's her tail. Now we're looking a bit more like a manatee. Oh, another thing I was thinking of that is a benefit to sketching with a medium that you can't erase is you commit to the line that you're working on. And if you don't like the line, like this one, you have to figure out a way to make it work with whatever it is you're drawing. So I think it's supposed to help you like become a little bit more of a confident artist. So I'm hoping that's the case. Nice and wrinkly. Wow, if you ever look at like the belly of a manatee, they're very ribbed. They have interesting flippers also. Wow. That's something I really like about whatever these are, like more specific studies of animals and objects and stuff, is like you really learn the shapes of things, of things that you take for granted that you already know what the shape is. I seem to always find that when I'm doing any kind of study on any kind of like animal or object or place, like there's always things that I'm like, I thought I knew what this looked like, and yeah, I'm surprised by some of the shapes in it. So I think we'll use this broad side of the marker to do a bit of a shadow. Leave some white here. So that's how we're gonna incorporate that line that I didn't like. And then most of his tail is in shadow. I don't know if there's a technique for marker coloring large areas so that you don't get that streaky look. Like alcohol markers are super good for that. Like you can do some pretty good spaces of coloring without getting the streak because they do blend so well. But for water-based markers, I don't know. So yeah, next time you look up manatees, or you can see one in real life at an aquarium or zoo or something, check out their belly. It's quite ribbed. Pretty interesting. Okay, we're gonna call that one done. There must be some different, I mean obviously there must be, right? Some different breeds of manatee, because this one that I pulled up here, the tail looks a little different than these guys. But okay, well there's that about these markers. Oh, you just have to really wedge it on. The lid does go on the end if you really wedge it on. So there you go. What was I gonna say about these manatees? Right. I feel like manatees, aren't they called like water cows? Ocean cows? I don't know, cows of the sea, something like that. In this particular image, I don't know, I'm thinking a water ocean hippo would be more accurate. Because this guy looks like a hippo to me. A swimming hippo. Oh, that would be kind of an interesting idea for a series, is like turning land animals. Ooh, do I smell a series coming on? Turning land animals into ocean animals and vice versa. Turning ocean animals into land animals. That would be really fun. It would be interesting for ones like a seahorse because, I mean, a seahorse doesn't really look like a land horse, but the name, you know. But I mean, if I was turning a hippo into an ocean creature, this is what I would be drawing probably. I don't know, guys. You tell me, by the end of this drawing, does this look more like a cow or a hippo? Oh, that's a real big eye. Manatees do not have big eyes, so that's my bad. And that's something I can't really incorporate into the image because what am I supposed to do? You know? So sometimes I guess you just gotta embrace it and move on. It might have just been the angle, but like this one I feel like didn't have these little feet, whereas this one has like little feet lines. And then the rest of him, he doesn't really have a lot of shadows on him, so I guess we would probably call this one done. And then some of these. Yeah, I don't know. To me, this is more hippo than cow. Let's do one more. The last one I'm going to do is an image of two. So I'm going to see if I can like fit them both in here. They're both going to be face-on images. So let's see what we can do. I got to get the spacing right. So they're quite rounded fellas. Okay, so there's the overall shape of our first guy. Let's see if we can get his muzzle in here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't outline the whole muzzle. We'll see. This guy's got quite quite an inner, like, I don't know what this is, like a lip or something. It's very pronounced. Where do we have his, these go quite high. And then his nostrils are quite high. And then he's got the 5 o'clock shadow all the way. With a few whiskers. What is your favorite sea creature? Let me know in the comments below. Mine, if you know me, you know what my answer is going to be, and that is a shark. You know what? Growing up, I used to think that it was kind of unique and cool that I liked sharks, but since I've discovered social media, I've realized liking sharks is not a unique thing. There are so many people who love a good shark. I guess Shark Week in itself is kind of a testament to that they have a whole week just learning about sharks. Even though I know there's a fair amount of controversy around Shark Week. There's his tail in the background. And then his buddy, who's also, I don't know, are manatees like social creatures? Because these two seem fairly in sync. Their body language is quite similar. So this one, before I finish up this part, I'm going to have to add his muzzle in. His is a lot lower. And honestly, I kind of like when the whole muzzle, I like that better, I think, when it's all blocked in. Yeah, like just these two muzzles beside each other, they're very different. Interesting. This guy doesn't have a lot of wrinkles either. I wonder if this is a baby? That eye is a bit wonky. I don't like that eye. Let's see if we can make this into a shadow here. Let's see if we can roll with our mistakes. I like it up there better. Even though you can't quite tell what's going on. That's my bad. This light source is obviously coming from this direction because he's getting, he basically doesn't have a lot of shadows and this guy's got a lot. Okay, well, unfortunately we're ending this off on the manatee that I like the least because of the eye mess up. But, oh well. It is what it is. And I could have done these manatees in different colors, but that's alright. So overall, I actually quite like these markers. I think they're a pretty good marker set. And if you're looking for some kind of cheap markers and you have an IKEA nearby, I would go for this, honestly. This is pretty good. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!